Janatatopi, everyone. I'm Drowsy Soda, and I want to talk about Drowley from Team Falcons, previously Carmine Corp and BDS. And while that's happening, I'm gonna have some Twisted Minds versus Falcons gameplay going on in the background, looking at Drowley's POV. But it really went to go over why they didn't make Paris major. And I've already seen a video from Danger Taco if you haven't checked. But he kind of glossed over what I was looking at when I looked over Drowley. But I've been a Drowley, like, I wouldn't say fanboy, but I more or less played with him a couple times previously when I was younger. And I know his playstyle. I've watched it, I've coached it, I've used him as a coaching example for my friends to, try and replicate that style. And watching the downfall of one of my favorite players is not something I'm really proud of. And I want to talk about why that just doesn't work. Why Team Falcons in itself can't work. Because it's not a problem that it's a player's problem. It's the team itself can't work. And what do you mean by that? And I want to look back to a tweet I made like 3 years ago, maybe 2 years. It was when Falcons was like at their all-time peak. I think they were constantly top 2 in every single major. It was Rawas, Kalirs, TRK. And for the longest time, my friend told me, he's like, TRK is the best player on that team. And I couldn't agree with him. Not for the reasons why he thought TRK was the greatest team, or greatest teammate. It was the fact that even if TRK was possibly one of the greatest players in MENA at the time, excluding, the current legends of MENA, it was the fact that his playstyle, yet it was good for Falcons, wasn't best. There was better. And apparently, Team Falcons agreed. But here's the thing. They chose the wrong direction. Now, for the longest time, I said the biggest pickup for Team Falcons would be Nupo. And looking at it now, understandably so. He's possibly the greatest MENA player ever. People will call him the MENA legend to this day. It's either Was or Nupo. And people starting to lean towards more Nupo. And honestly, that's what I thought first. TRK is great, but Nupo's better. And he fills the same roles needed. Offensive scorer, offensive player. And that's what Nupo did. He was talented, he was great. And it really filled Kalirs and Ross's playstyle together. Now, if you're unaware, I cover these two teams a lot. How Rawas and Kalirs play is a very self-righteous twos player in a sense. They ignore the third player. It's a very give and go. They go for two-tap plays, mixing up the midfield, just chopping it up. If you have an individual play and it fails, there's usually somebody there for it. And that's how that team was built. They're twins, they played each other the same way, and it worked. TRK was just there to clean up the mess. He amplified it. He made their playstyle better. And that's what I thought Nupo would bring to the table. And he could. And he has shown time and time again he can bring that to the table. But guess what? Falcons didn't bring it to the table. So, Falcons in their direction looked at Drowley. Why would they look at Drowley? His previous successes show that he was, a really good player, valuable, you can't get rid of him. But Falcons didn't really need a rebuild. They didn't need help. They didn't need support. They didn't need these things. It was Saudi money. And I can't deny a man going to chase a bag. That's just, hoorah, go him. But in the effort of chasing a bag, you've killed your bag. You've lost your money. You've lost your value. And now let's go over the reason why that doesn't work. Rally, in a sense, does the same shit Rawas and Killers does, but just a little bit slower. And you're like, what the hell does that mean? Well, for a while, Rawas and Killers, the MENA legends, the Falcons of the time, they did a playstyle that we would like to call, I want wouldn't say the pump fake, but it was a on purpose double commit where one player would go whew, and another player would come right underneath and steal it, right in our net. Boom! It worked every single time. It was beautiful. They were the greatest at it, and then Energy was, but now Energy switched to a different style, and Falcons are still trying to maintain that style. But we don't see that anymore because they didn't make Paris Major. That's the issue. Now, let's talk about why. mena, in a sense, is a very aggressive region. Three of the players on R8, the team that took Falcon's spot, Ghazi, M7D, and fuck, I forgot who, Abdullah. Those three players, very aggressive players. They embody mena. I'm glad they made it to the major. They got fucked, but I like that they made it to the major. They embody what mena was. Now, if Falcons made the major, I'd probably be upset. I'd be surprised. I mean, they've won a major. They've won a regional in mena, but at the same time, I don't think they deserve it. I don't think they did. To be honest. Falcons, as a whole, cannot work because of how Drowley plays. And let's get into that. Drowley is a very passive, sit underneath the ball, second man. He will make the play if he needs to. He is the backbone of a team. In a sense of, not a turkey bone, but instead of how, without him, a bird can't fly. If you don't know, a bird needs, not all birds, but some birds, there's a tailbone needed. If that tailbone does not exist, it cannot fly. So, for Falcons to work, they needed that tailbone. They needed that crux. But they got rid of it for somebody who inherently made it worse. Now, the reason why Drowley worked on Karmine Corp, arguably worked on Karmine Corp, and definitely worked on BDS, was because the other players enabled his playstyle. Now, as we're watching this Twisted Minds vs Falcons game, we might switch to a Twisted Minds POV. But Monkey Moon, as a whole, is a player who likes to retain third man. He is a very third man heavy player. And I think that's what made him work. That's what made Twisted Minds look scary. And I mean scary. The fact they made it to second consecutively is scary to me. That just goes to prove Monkey Moon is the GOAT. No. I mean, yeah, he is pretty much the GOAT, I'm gonna be honest. But Monkey Moon's playstyle works with Nupo and Tier K. It works. Because he was the crux that helped Twist. He was the third man that they needed. Because Nupo and Tier K just got elevated. Think of it like this. You know how Rawas and Kalirs were really just second man passive, and they needed that one guy who's just really there to shoot? That was them. But faster and able to shoot. They didn't care about this double commit bullshit. No, they wanted shots on net. They turned around, they want shots on net. And Monkey Moon was able to play with that playstyle because he was constant third man. Not because he sat in third man like a goalie like Gibbs in 2017. No. It was that he was able to enable that because he moved with the team. He was able to get himself into third man, which allowed the team to play aggressive. Drowley can't enable that for two players that played a bit more passive in the midfield. It just doesn't work that way. That's why these two transfers from Europe to mena were just shocking to me. It blew my mind. It didn't make sense. But looking at it now, it didn't make sense. But on paper now, it's great. It's great. Twisted are probably to become kings of their region, because that playstyle you can't beat. Unless Drowley leaves Falcons, I don't think they're winning. There's just no way. They need to either figure out how to reset the playstyles of those players, or get new players. It doesn't work anymore. You have to bring in Nupo. You just have to. You have to bring in Tier K. Taking away what Team Falcon's identity was that, that double jump, pre-jump, bullshit that they were great at, for some player who likes to sit mid and likes to play patient and then will kill whenever he wants to, just doesn't work like that. It doesn't help. You lose out on money because of that. Rally in itself is a glorified second man. Not first, not third. He's second. And I will die with that. Rawas, no matter how much you say, oh, he's great on defense, he's great on offense. That's not his playstyle. He's not like that. He is a player who is more like a second man than any second man will be. He is like Messi center field. Well, not center field, like midfield, but you get my point. He's there to enable the team in what's possible. Kaliers and Rawas went together like bread and butter. You either fix one of these two players into becoming an aggressive machine, or you figure it the fuck out. And I don't think they're able to do that. So, where am I going to end this off? It's Raleigh needs to find a new team, or they need a new player. And Falcons then will become something. Do I want Drelly to succeed in MENA? Of course. Do I think he can? Sadly, no. It's just not possible. I respect him taking the bag, but I can't. And if you want to debate me in the comments, just fucking be my guest. I have been saying this for 2 years now, that Tier K needed to be, I'd say needed to be kicked, but he should be kicked for Nupo. I thought Nupo was the greatest. Back in that tournament when Nupo first kind of like boomed onto the scene, the show that he was the greatest in terms of MENA. That right there is what clicked in my head where they need Nupo. My friend looked at me like I was insane. I think now, more than anything, they need it. And I think with the FIFA E coming up, I'm pretty sure it's Rawas Tier K. No, it's Rawas Tier K and Nupo, I think. Or it's Rawas Kaliers and Nupo. I want to see what happens. I don't know why we keep ignoring the Nupo with Falcons. But I don't... If there's a lore there that I'm missing, please tell me in the comments. I really don't. Because Rawas Kaliers Nupo would be fucking stupid. That's where I end off this video. Buena Topi. Have a good night. See you later.